Welcome back. This is lesson number 4 in our beginner rhythm and counting series. We are on sheet 1.3, and if you're unsure what that means or what this is, then I really encourage you to check out everything in the description below on YouTube, or you can go to my website at proteaman.com, because what I'm going to talk about here is a whole bunch of stuff to do with rhythm and counting, and it is number 1. No matter what happens when you are playing music, reading music, understanding music, it is number 1. Rhythm must be there. And I tell my students this all the time, and I've done this for over a decade, this exact package with my students, and it's worked wonders. Their abilities has just skyrocketed every single time we go through one of these packages. Now, if you're unsure where to get it, you can go to proteanman.com. It is right there at the top, proteanman.com, and you can type in /music-education, or you can just hover over the course and you can find music education right there. There's always more coming. I'm working on new things as I record this video, actually, but it might look a bit different. But no matter what happens, it's all here. Just look for the purple image for beginner, or if you're moving on to the next one and the next one, or something else as it comes down the road. If you click on the image, you will get this page, which is everything you need to really get going with this package. You can download it from here. You get an email, you get a link, and you can download it forever. The link is good forever, so don't delete that email. And if you do delete the email, or if you want to contact me for any reason, you can do it in 2 different ways. One is the contact link up here on the top right. It's always there on every page. Or you can click this Have a Question button, and there's a special form for anybody that has a question, an idea, comment, or anything at all. And I will get back to you as soon as I can and help you out, because the goal of this is education, and the goal of everything that I'm doing on this site and on YouTube is to ensure that we have those fundamental skills really ingrained into us, and that way everything else becomes so much easier and so much better. So that's it. If you are watching this for the very first time, I encourage you to go back in the playlist. Just click this button right here, Video Lessons, and you'll find the playlist for the beginner series. And watch the first video, because you can get this sheet for free from that link below and on YouTube. You can also find it here as well. And what I do is I go through all of this and explain some basics in counting, and then that will sort of skyrocket you onto what we're doing right now. So here we go. We are on sheet 1.3, so make sure you have this exact thing all laid out for you, because you'll be very confused if you're on the wrong sheet. It's really, really simple stuff. Okay, first things first, we have 3 rules to go over. These rules attach to everything in rhythm and counting, and they will go forever as far as we go with these workshops. So rule number 1 being show each beat or pulse, or whatever you want to call it, but the counting in the bar, if it's 4 beats, if it's 3 beats, even if it's 6 or 12 beats, you got to show me where those beats are. Number 2 is only show what's needed, and what this does is it has 2 different avenues you can take on this. One being if there is something written there for notes or rests or some kind of rhythmic symbol, then I want you to show me the counting for that. Show me something. The second avenue is you don't need to put something that's not there. If there isn't a note, if there isn't a rest, if there isn't something there, you don't need to show me anything, because it's going to get confusing very, very fast. There are exceptions, and that comes later on, but not in this level 1. And number 3 being write clearly and concisely. This is mostly for me, because I write quite large and a bit of flow to it. So it kind of helps to really be neat and tidy with your writing. It makes everything so much easier, especially when you're lining things up and trying to read it later on. So here we go. I'm not going to explain too much about what all this stuff is, because the previous video went over what rests are. These type of rests and these types. There's only 2 different types in this sheet anyways, but what we're doing is mixing things up and getting a bit more complicated, because it's nice to see all the differences, especially with these rests and notes, and how they can make up different types of rhythms. Quarter notes and eighth notes, that's all we have in level 1. It's all you need. Half notes and whole notes come in the next level, and I do that on purpose. So what we're going to do is you're going to count all this stuff on your own. And if you don't know how to do that, then you are on the wrong video. I really encourage you to go back and watch the previous few lessons, and that way you'll fully understand how to do all of this. Because if you're coming in here fresh, then this will be a really steep learning curve, and I'm not going to explain how all this works in detail like the other videos. So here we go. Altogether, you hopefully finished this first line because nothing here is new anymore, and all you're doing is writing in the counting. So checking your answers with number 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There's a bar line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There's the bar line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Bar line. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Last bar, you might have noticed that this entire first line, 1 and what am I doing? 2 and 3 and I lost track myself, and 4, and this entire line is just straight 8s all the way across, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and repeated. But we have different mixtures of rests and notes, and we are going to see how this works, because what this sheet does, 1.3, is it starts to include things like this, which are offbeat notes. And what I mean by that is if this number here 1, this number here 2, 3, 4, not and 4, just 4, if those numbers are the beats, right, they are on the beat. So this rest, this rest, this rest, and this rest are on the actual beat. Well, the notes are not. So when you're playing this or clapping this back, what happens is you sound like you're off the beat, because you're not supposed to make any sound on a rest. These are quiet, silent, make zero noise at all. And these, the notes, are making a sound. So we're going to have 1 and 2 and 4 and. The ands make sound while the beats don't, and that's why we call them off-beat rhythms, because the beat is not being shown or heard. It's sort of being hidden away. So this is what this sheet does, is it sort of introduces off-beat rhythms, and it's going to be quite easy once you get through the entire sheet because it's not too complicated. But take it slow, and remember you can always repeat, repeat, repeat. Just rewind the video. It will all make sense. So what we're going to do together is we have a metronome. You can hear that click, tap, that whatever that sound is, and that is each beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sure this is just rehashing the old horse. You know this already. And all you're doing is lining up your counting and the notes and the rest with that beat. We're at 72 beats per minute. You can see my hands down here. So I'm going to clap. You're going to clap along with me and count out loud. So you're basically doing everything I'm doing. And it becomes a lot easier that way because it's just that old monkey see, monkey do, copy, copy, copy. And that's how we're learning this. And you can go back and practice on your own. And I really encourage you to actually go back and do this on your own with your own metronome. Just go to Google, type in metronome, and you'll get one for free right there, built into Google. Slide it to 72, and you will have the exact same speed as we have now. Ready? So here we go. Number 1. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're done. Now you might have noticed the last 2 bars, they sort of reverse. So the second to last bar, which is, this one, what's happening is we're hitting notes on the beat. It sounds like we're just playing quarter notes, just clapping quarter notes with 1, 2, 3, 4 with the metronome. While the next bar, this bar here, is doing the opposite. We're clapping or playing off the beat, like I mentioned a second ago. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if I was to clap that last bar as solid 8th notes, I would have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now all you're doing is you're skipping every 1, 3, 5, and 7, so the odd numbers. If I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and being the odd numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, if I counted them out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then together all we have is offbeats. 1, 2, clap the last bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again, we'll repeat. Ready? Together. And. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right? And that cap, that metronome, is just falling on the rests. So I hope that made a bit of sense, because as we go down to the rest of these numbers in sheet 1.3, we're going to have a lot more offbeats. So just remember, you can always pause, practice, you can always rewind the video and clap it again and again and again, and you will get this. It will become easier and easier. It just takes that lovely word that everyone always says, practice. Number 2, here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and last bar 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Now there is a pattern. It happens quite a bit when we're learning this kind of stuff. And we have quarter note, eighths, quarter note, eighths. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and. So the first beat is going to be obvious, and luckily we have a quarter note starting each bar, which gives us a nice reference point. So makes it easy for everybody. Here we go. Let me turn on that metronome. Number 2, we're going to clap and count out loud. You can practice, pause the video if you want. You can get it right the first time, then you are winning this game. Here we go. Number 2. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 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 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. We're done. So just to put it into a little bit of perspective, we have first bar, 1, 2, and 3 and is the exact same here. These two are the exact same. We also have this bar being 1, 2, 3, 4 on the beat. And then the last two bars take this idea and it just reverses it with being off the beat. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. I'm emphasizing the offbeat. That's it. It's just a pattern, and you start seeing these patterns as you go through, and really everything else in life, because everything is patterns in the end. Number 3, here we go. 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 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 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and. You might have noticed a pattern again. Third beat is solid. It is just a quarter note. The rest is eighth note. So here we go. Clapping and counting. Number 3, practice if you want. Pause the video, but here we go all together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 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 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and. I hope I did that right, because the very beginning, It's almost the same for the first two bars, almost. The only difference is we have the third beat switching over to a rest. Try the first three bars together. One more last time. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Does that make sense? Practice that again. Practice makes perfect. You probably have already heard that from so many people, and it's absolutely true. You know where the word practice comes from? It's a Greek word. Kind of sounds the same, but it has an X in it. Really interesting. History of language. Number 4, here we go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. Next bar, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Next bar, 1 and 2 and 4 and. Next bar, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Next bar, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Have a look at that bar. Watch the middle sections because we have on the beats for most of it, actually all of it. There's no offbeats. Number 4 is going to be quite simple when you really break it down. Let's pull up everything. You ready together? Clapping and counting out loud. Here we go. 1, 2, number 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Really, really simple. It's all exactly on the beats, even the rests that we really have to emphasize. The ands are just counting all the way through. Getting easier, I promise. I'm sure you're finding it already to be a bit easier as we go forward. Okay, next section we have number 5, 6, and 7 finishing off this sheet 1.3. We're on number 5 with 1, 2, 3, 4, and now some offbeats. 1 and 2 and 4. And you should have already finished all of this and this and this. Your goal is to do it on your own and you check your answers. And if you make a mistake, get a new sheet, print it out, and do it again. Because that is one of the best ways to learn all of this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Here we go. We have number 5. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now I'm not going 1 and or rest and 2 and 3 and. I'm just kind of easily clapping. You don't have to emphasize every single rest. As long as you're not clapping or playing on the rest, it's totally fine. You don't have to emphasize everything with your hands. I just do this on the big rest because it really shows that I'm not clapping for you. I'm sure that made a lot of sense. And if you want to redo it, just rewind the video and clap it again, try it again, try it again. And it'd be kind of neat if you got the metronome out and you turned it up to, let's say, 100 beats per minute or even 120 beats per minute, which is a very common speed, a very common tempo. Here we go. Number 6, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, and make that 1 a little bit bigger. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Just to rehash a few things, remember that when you're counting, you're watching quarters, quarter rests as well. They get an entire beat. If you see a quarter, you don't have to put any ands. I remember some of my students were making mistakes here on this exact bar, and they were doing this: 1 and 2 and 3, and then they put 4 here sometimes because they got a bit messed up, or they put the and they don't know where to put 4 because there's nothing left, which helps because that tells them they made a mistake. Then they ask for help, and I come and, well, look at this. This is just a quarter note, a quarter rest, same size as a quarter note, same size as this. If this is the last thing, which is going to be 4, then you can kind of figure out that I have 2/8 notes together and 2/8 notes together. 2/8 notes make an entire beat, another beat right there. So I have all the beats I need ready to go. You just have to see it in its little sections, its groups, however you want to say it, but you have to look for those groups. And that's it. Number 6. Here we go, all together, clapping and counting. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now, I did not count one of those ands. I'm sure you already saw that. Maybe you're screaming at the video. Either way, you can fix that yourself. We all make mistakes, and sometimes we just run out of breath. Here we go. Number 7, very last one. Now, remember that the last line in each page, each part of the level, of each level, is going to be sort of a hashing out of different things from the entire page. So whatever we learned will be sort of expressed here in number 7 or number 10, depending on the page. Later on, there's 10. Let's try this together. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And there's the 1, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So that's all of number 7. Just watch because we have a few back and forths with on and off the beat. We start with going and clapping on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest, 3, 4. Then we go to off the beat. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then immediately right here, watch this because we have 4 and 1 and 1. So it's sort of a pickup, called a pickup into the next bar, sort of leads you in. That's the goal of this. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The confusing part in 7 is this section, sort of 1 1/4 bars. That's really it. Here we go, all together. Clapping and counting, very last one. If you can do this right away without practice, then you are mastering all of this so fast. And I mean without any prior experience. If you've had piano lessons and have, let's say, a lot of my students end up coming in with extra experience in music, and this is pretty easy for them, well, that doesn't really count. What I mean is you're fresh to all of this and you're getting this. You are becoming a master. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Almost missed that third beat. Let's try the whole thing again all together. This is just for me and maybe for you too. Here we go. 1, 2, number 7. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And 1, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. There we go. A lot more clear for you. So you can always rewind it. You can always redo it. Repeat, repeat, repeat. That is what a lot of practicing is. And we are almost finished with level 1. There's one more sheet to go. You are almost done. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, by all means, let me know at proteaman.com or in the comments below on this video on YouTube. Remember to subscribe and to share this with anybody who you think might need it. All here to help you. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video.